Ladies and gentlemen, you see, life is a battle, a war that begins every single day when you open your eyes. And I'm not talking about the battles with the outside world. I'm not talking about the struggles you have with people, with society, with circumstances. No. The real battle happens within. The real enemy, it's not your boss, it's not your friend, it's not even the government. The real enemy is the one that lives inside of you. It's the enemy of your mind. Now, I want you to understand something. The mind is a powerful thing. We all know that. It shapes everything around us. But here's the thing you might not know: just because the mind is powerful doesn't mean it's always on your side. And if you don't control it, it'll control you. Your mind can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. It can either lift you up to the highest heights or it can drag you down into the darkest depths. I'm telling you, if you're not careful, your own thoughts will defeat you before anything else does. See, there are forces out there, mental forces, that will try to destroy your spirit, your dreams, your future. They don't wear uniforms. You won't see them coming. But they are just as dangerous as anything else you can face. These are the enemies of the mind. And I'm telling you, if you're not aware, if you're not vigilant, they will sabotage everything you're trying to achieve. They will hold you back, and they will make you doubt yourself. The first enemy, fear. Fear is the silent killer. Fear doesn't just show up as terror or panic. No, it can be more subtle than that. Fear can be that little voice in your head that says you're not good enough. You can't do this, you don't have what it takes. And if you listen to that voice, if you believe that voice, then you're already defeated. Because fear, my friend, doesn't want you to take that step forward. Fear wants to keep you in the same place. It wants you to be comfortable with mediocrity. Fear wants you to stay where it's safe, where there's no risk. But the problem with staying in your comfort zone is that nothing ever happens there. Nothing changes. Now, don't be afraid, and it sounds easy, right? But fear isn't something that just goes away when you say, I'm not afraid. Fear is something you've got to confront. Fear is something you've got to face. You can't let fear control you, because if you do, you'll never move forward. The best way to deal with fear is to move through it. You have to move toward it. And when you get close enough, you'll realize that it's not nearly as big as you thought. But only if you're willing to confront it head on. Now, let me tell you something about doubt. Doubt is another enemy of the mind. Doubt is the little voice that says, are you sure you can do this? Are you sure you have the ability? Who do you think you are? And you know what doubt does? Doubt robs you of your confidence. Doubt makes you second guess yourself at every turn. And when you second guess yourself, you start to hesitate. And when you hesitate, opportunities pass you by. I've seen it too many times. People with talent, with potential, but they can't get out of their own heads. They doubt themselves so much that they never take action. You want to know what the real secret is? The secret is that doubt doesn't go away. It's not going anywhere. But you have to make a choice. Are you going to let doubt control you, or are you going to act in spite of it? You see, confidence is not about not having doubt. It's about taking action anyway. You push through the doubt and you keep moving, even when you're unsure, even when it feels uncomfortable, you keep going. That's how you build real confidence. And then there's negativity. Let me tell you, negativity is like poison for the mind. You've got people around you, people who will try to bring you down, tell you it's not going to work, tell you that you're wasting your time. And if you're not careful, if you're not strong enough, their negativity will seep into your soul. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to ignore constructive criticism. That's different. You need people around you who are going to challenge you, who are going to push you to be better. But there's a difference between someone who's challenging you for your growth and someone who's trying to bring you down because they're too scared to go after their own dreams. Negativity is contagious. It spreads like wildfire. You have to be careful who you let into your space. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly complaining, constantly doubting, constantly telling you it's impossible, then it's time to make some changes. Because their energy will rub off on you, and before you know it, you'll start to believe that it's too hard. You'll start to believe that success is for other people, not you. And once that happens, it's a wrap. You are the sum of the people you surround yourself with. Your environment shapes your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. If you want to change your life, you've got to start with who you're hanging around. Another enemy of the mind is self. The most significant struggles are internal. The mind can either be your ally or your enemy, and if you don't take control of it, it will control you, sabotaging your potential and dreams. Fear and self-doubt are two of the greatest enemies of the mind. Fear holds you back from taking risks and stepping out of your comfort zone, while doubt undermines your confidence, causing hesitation and missed opportunities. Overcoming both requires moving through them, not avoiding them. The negativity of others can poison your mind and hinder your progress. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge and support you rather than those who try to bring you down is essential for growth and success. Self-pity drains your energy and keeps you stuck in a cycle of inaction. Taking responsibility for your circumstances, refusing to blame others, and focusing on what you can control is the key to breaking free and achieving your goals. The battle within is a fight that most people never fully recognize until it's too late. It's a war that we are all born into, whether we like it or not, and it's a war that is waged every single day of our lives. Some of us fight it consciously, others unconsciously, but we're all fighting it. This war isn't about physical strength or external challenges. No, this war is about what goes on inside your mind. It's about the thoughts you choose to believe, the beliefs you hold on to, and how those beliefs shape the actions you take or fail to take. Think about it for a moment. You wake up every day, and the first thing you experience is the war within. The moment your eyes open, the mind begins its chatter. What do you hear in that moment? Is it the voice of self-doubt telling you that today will be just like yesterday? Is it the voice of fear warning you of the dangers of trying something new or stepping outside your comfort zone? Or do you hear the voice of confidence reminding you of your purpose, your goals, and the strength you have inside you to face whatever comes your way? The fact is, most people don't even realize how powerful their thoughts are. They don't realize that every single thought they entertain has a direct impact on how they feel and how they act. And if you allow your thoughts to be controlled by fear, doubt, negativity, or any other limiting belief, you're setting yourself up to lose before you even take the first step. The enemy of your mind isn't a person, a place, or a thing. It's the way you think. It's the way you let your mind dictate your actions instead of you taking control of your mind. When you live in a constant state of self-doubt, when you're always second-guessing yourself, when you're afraid to make a mistake or take a chance, you're losing that battle within. That's the enemy winning. The mind is a battlefield, and your thoughts are the weapons. But most of us don't use those weapons effectively. We let our thoughts control us instead of taking charge of them. We don't choose to believe the empowering thoughts, the ones that push us forward, the ones that remind us of our potential. Instead, we choose to focus on the negative, the fear, and the uncertainty. And when we do that, we let the enemy win. We let our minds become prisons instead of launching pads. The first step in winning this battle is realizing that you are the one who controls your mind. It's easy to believe that your thoughts are just random, that they come and go without any real control from you. But the truth is, you have the power to choose which thoughts to entertain and which ones to discard. This isn't something that happens overnight. It's a practice. It's a discipline. It's a conscious decision to reject the negative, the limiting, the fearful thoughts, and instead to feed your mind with empowering beliefs, with thoughts that lift you up and move you forward. This isn't about pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It's not about ignoring the reality of life's challenges or pretending that fear doesn't exist. Fear will always be there. Doubt will always be there. But how you choose to respond to those feelings, that's where the power lies. The difference between a winner and a loser isn't that one is fearless and the other is afraid. The difference is that the winner knows how to act in spite of fear. The winner doesn't let fear dictate their choices. The winner chooses courage. And that choice is what wins the battle within. Now, there are those who will tell you that it's easy to be positive, to think positively, but I'm here to tell you that it's not easy. It's not always easy to push through the negative thoughts, to override the fear, to reject the voices in your head that tell you that you can't do it. It takes work, it takes persistence, it takes practice. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And when you start to see the results, when you start to feel the shift inside of you, when you begin to act from a place of confidence instead of fear, that's when you realize that the battle within can be won. But it's not just about the thoughts you have in any given moment. It's about the beliefs you hold deep within your heart. Beliefs are the foundation of your life. They shape your identity, your actions, and ultimately your results. If you believe that you're not good enough, that you're destined to fail, or that you're unworthy of success, then no matter how hard you try, you will always be held back by those beliefs. Why? Because your beliefs dictate how you see yourself in the world around you. And if you see yourself as incapable, then you will act in ways that confirm that belief. You will subconsciously sabotage yourself, and you'll never fully realize your potential. Beliefs are not set in stone. They can be changed. You have the power to change them. You have the power to redefine who you are, to shift your beliefs from limiting ones to empowering ones. It's a process. It takes time, but it can be done. You have to start by questioning the beliefs that have been holding you back. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it true? Does it serve me? Does it help me become the person I want to be? If the answer is no, then it's time to let that belief go and replace it with something new. Something that empowers you, something that helps you move forward. But just like any battle, the fight within isn't always going to be won in one day. There will be days when you feel like you're making progress, and there will be days when you feel like you're taking 2 steps backward. There will be moments when you're so consumed by fear, doubt, or negativity that it feels impossible to break free. But here's the thing, those are the moments when you've got to keep going. Those are the moments when you've got to push through the hardest. Those are the moments that define you. I'm telling you, the battle within is real. It's a constant fight. But it's a fight worth having. Because when you win that battle, when you finally take control of your mind, that's when you unlock your true potential. That's when you start to realize that everything you've ever wanted is within your reach. But you've got to fight for it. You've got to battle through the fear, the doubt, the negativity, and the limiting beliefs. You've got to push through every obstacle that your mind throws at you. And the greatest thing about this battle is that it's not about being perfect. It's not about never having a negative thought or never feeling afraid. It's about how you respond to those thoughts and feelings. It's about not allowing them to control you, about not allowing them to determine your actions. It's about taking charge of your mind, directing your thoughts, and making them work for you, not against you. So what does victory in this battle look like? It looks like the ability to take action in the face of fear. It looks like the courage to pursue your dreams even when you're not sure how things will turn out. It looks like a mindset that says, I can do this no matter what. It looks like a heart that refuses to give up no matter how many times you fall. It looks like a soul that knows its worth and its potential and doesn't let anything, no thought, no fear, no doubt get in the way of its purpose. The battle within is the most important fight you'll ever face. Win it, and you win everything. You win your life. You win your dreams. You win the person you're meant to become. And you'll see that everything you've been struggling for, everything you've been working for is already within you. All it takes is the willingness to face the battle within and fight with everything you've got. Fear and doubt are 2 of the most powerful enemies we face in life. They are invisible forces, intangible yet potent, that can cripple us if we allow them to. Fear and doubt are often intertwined, and together they form a silent barrier that prevents many people from ever reaching their full potential. These 2 forces can paralyze us, making us question our abilities, our worth, and our purpose. They sneak into our minds, sowing seeds of uncertainty, and if we're not careful, they will grow into massive obstacles that can hold us back from the life we want to live. Fear doesn't always look like what we think it does. When we imagine fear, we often picture the dramatic moments, the heart-racing situations, the moments of extreme danger or panic. But fear is much more subtle than that. Fear can hide behind hesitation. Fear can disguise itself as procrastination, as an excuse, as a reason to delay taking action. Fear isn't just about being afraid of what might happen, it's about being afraid of what could happen, what could change if we actually went for it. Fear keeps us stuck in our comfort zones, telling us that it's better to stay where we are than to risk moving into the unknown. It doesn't show up to protect you. It doesn't show up because it wants you to be safe. It shows up because it's afraid of what might happen if you take the next step. Fear is often rooted in insecurity. It whispers to us that we're not good enough, that we're not ready, that we're not equipped for the challenges ahead. And when fear talks to us like that, we start to believe it, we start to shrink, we begin to play small. We put off our dreams, we put off our ambitions, we put off taking the action we know we need to take, and we let fear win. Doubt, on the other hand, is like a sneaky companion to fear. While fear paralyzes us with thoughts of worst-case scenarios, doubt sits quietly in the back of our minds, undermining everything we think and feel. Doubt asks questions like, what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? It pokes holes in our confidence and our belief in our abilities. And when doubt takes root, it's difficult to move forward. We start second-guessing ourselves. We second-guess our decisions, our skills, our plans. We start to wonder whether we're making the right choices, whether we have what it takes to succeed, and whether the risks we're taking are worth it. Together, fear and doubt create a toxic environment in our minds. They feed off each other, making it even harder to overcome either one. Fear tells us that failure is imminent, and doubt convinces us that we don't have the strength to face it. And when those two voices are combined, we become immobilized. The fear of failure combined with the doubt of our own abilities can be overwhelming. We start to believe that we'll never be able to do it, that our dreams are too big, too unattainable, too far out of reach. Fear and doubt make us feel small, insignificant, and powerless. But here's the thing, fear and doubt are not the problem. They are natural parts of the human experience. Every single person who has ever achieved anything significant in life has had to face fear and doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that one group is fearless and the other is paralyzed by fear. The difference is in how we respond to those feelings. It's in how we choose to act in spite of fear and doubt. It's about having the courage to keep moving forward, even when everything inside of you is telling you to stop, to quit, to give up. You see, courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is the ability to move through the fear. It's the willingness to step forward, even when you don't feel ready, even when you're uncertain, even when you're afraid of what might happen. Courage doesn't wait for the fear to go away because fear doesn't disappear. It shows up whenever you try to do something significant. But when you choose to take action despite the fear, that's when you break through. That's when you prove to yourself that fear doesn't have to control you. The same goes for doubt. Doubt will always be there, but you can't let it control you. The key to moving past doubt is to realize that no one, not a single person, has ever achieved greatness without a moment of doubt. Doubt is a part of the process. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself beyond what is comfortable, beyond what is easy, and into new territory. When doubt shows up, it's simply an indicator that you're on the right path. It's not something to be feared or avoided, it's something to be embraced. If you wait for the fear and doubt to go away, you'll never take any action. You'll wait forever, sitting on the sidelines, watching life pass you by. But if you learn to move in spite of them, if you learn to take action despite the fear, you'll see progress. You'll see yourself growing, improving, and becoming stronger. You'll begin to realize that the fear and doubt aren't as powerful as you once thought. They are temporary. They are fleeting. But your ability to act in the face of them will last a lifetime. It's also important to recognize that fear and doubt are often not even based on reality. They are products of our imagination. Our minds have a tendency to catastrophize. We imagine the worst possible outcome, and we fixate on it. We get stuck in the what-if scenario, thinking about all the things that could go wrong, all the mistakes we could make, and all the failures that are waiting to happen. But the reality is that we can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen. All we can do is take the next step and trust that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. The more you act in spite of the fear and doubt, the more you build trust in yourself. You start to develop a sense of resilience, a belief that no matter what challenges come your way, you'll be able to face them. You'll start to understand that failure is not something to fear, it's simply part of the journey. It's a lesson, it's an opportunity to learn and grow. And with every failure, you get one step closer to success. Fear and doubt are natural, but they don't have to rule your life. You can choose to acknowledge them, but you don't have to give them control. Every successful person has had to wrestle with fear and doubt, but they made the choice to move forward anyway. They made the choice to believe in themselves, even when the voice of doubt was loud, even when fear was overwhelming. They made the choice to act in spite of the uncertainty. And that's what made all the difference. You have the power to do the same. You have the power to choose to act, to choose to move forward, even when the fear and doubt are screaming in your ear. You have the power to make the decision to step out of your comfort zone, to take risks, to face your fears, and to pursue your dreams. The fear and doubt will always be there, but so will your courage, your strength, and your resilience. And in the end, your ability to push through those challenges will be what defines you. It will be what sets you apart from those who let fear and doubt control their lives. So don't wait for the fear to go away. Don't wait for the doubt to vanish. Take action anyway. Move forward anyway. Keep going even when it's hard. Keep going even when it feels impossible. Keep going, because on the other side of fear and doubt, there's a life waiting for you. There's success, growth, and fulfillment. And it's all within your reach, but only if you choose to face fear and doubt and push through them one step at a time. Negativity and environment are two of the most insidious factors that can undermine our progress, our happiness, and our potential. These two forces often work together, creating a toxic atmosphere in which it's incredibly difficult to thrive. While negativity may seem like an external force, it often starts within us in our own thoughts, attitudes, and perceptions. However, the environment in which we place ourselves plays an equally important role in either fueling or mitigating that negativity. The people, the spaces, and the energy we surround ourselves with shape how we think, how we feel, and ultimately how we act. The truth is, the environment we create for ourselves and the environment we expose ourselves to have a powerful impact on our mental and emotional well-being. Just as a plant needs the right soil, light, and water to grow, we too need the right environment to nurture our personal growth, to cultivate positive energy, and to thrive. When the environment is filled with negativity, whether it's the negativity of others, the negativity of our surroundings, or the negativity within our own minds, it becomes incredibly difficult to focus on our goals, to stay motivated, or to see the positive possibilities that life offers. The first thing we have to acknowledge is that negativity is contagious. It spreads like a virus. When you are around people who constantly complain, criticize, and focus on what's wrong with the world, it's easy to get sucked into that same mindset. Negative energy doesn't just stay with one person, it ripples out, influencing everyone around them. If you're surrounded by negativity, whether it's in your workplace, your social circles, or your home, it becomes harder to stay positive. You begin to absorb the toxic energy and start seeing everything through a lens of limitation. You start to feel discouraged, trapped, and even hopeless. You begin to doubt yourself and question your own abilities because the people around you are projecting their doubts and fears onto you. One of the most damaging aspects of negativity is that it often masquerades as concern. People who are negative might claim they're just trying to help, just looking out for you, but their words and attitudes are often laced with fear, pessimism, and self-limiting beliefs. They might tell you that your dreams are unrealistic, that you should lower your expectations, that you should be realistic because they themselves are too afraid to take risks. These well-meaning people may not even realize they're doing it, but they are poisoning your mind with their own doubts and fears. Their negativity can sabotage your dreams if you're not careful. The challenge is not just about avoiding negative people, it's about recognizing the negativity within yourself. We all have that inner critic, that voice inside our heads that tells us we're not good enough, that we'll fail, that it's too hard. We can be our own worst enemy when it comes to negativity. How many times have you talked yourself out of doing something because you convinced yourself that it wouldn't work out, that it wasn't worth trying, that you didn't have what it takes? The negativity that comes from within can be even more damaging than external negativity because we can't always escape it. It's with us all the time, constantly feeding us doubts, insecurities, and fears. It can paralyze us, preventing us from taking action or moving forward. To break free from negativity, we need to start by recognizing it. We need to identify the negative influences in our lives, whether they come from other people, from our surroundings, or from our own minds. Once we recognize it, we can begin to make changes. This doesn't mean we can eliminate negativity entirely. We can't control the attitudes and behaviors of others. And we can't always control the negative thoughts that come into our heads. But what we can control is how we respond to negativity. We can choose not to internalize it. We can choose not to let it define us. We can choose to change the narrative, to focus on the positive, and to take action in spite of the negativity. One of the most powerful ways to combat negativity is by creating a positive environment. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Find those who believe in you, who encourage you, who challenge you to be your best self. These are the people who will help you see the possibilities, who will remind you of your strength, who will push you to keep going even when it gets tough. Seek out mentors, friends, and colleagues who have a positive outlook on life, who are focused on solutions rather than problems, who are committed to growth and progress. But it's not just about the people we surround ourselves with. It's also about the physical environment we create for ourselves. Our homes, our workplaces, and our social spaces all play a crucial role in our mental and emotional state. If you are constantly surrounded by clutter, chaos, or negativity in your environment, it will be difficult to focus, to think clearly, or to maintain a positive mindset. Create spaces that inspire and motivate you. Keep your environment clean, organized, and filled with things that bring you joy, peace, and inspiration. The energy of the space you inhabit has a direct impact on your state of mind. If your environment is nurturing, supportive, and positive, you will be more likely to nurture and support your own growth. In addition to the people and spaces you choose to surround yourself with, it's important to recognize the power of your thoughts in shaping your environment. Your thoughts create your reality. The way you perceive the world, the way you interpret the events in your life, and the way you think about yourself all contribute to the environment you create internally. If you allow negative thoughts to dominate your mind, your inner environment becomes toxic. You start to see the world through a lens of fear, doubt, and limitation. But if you choose to think positively, if you focus on what's good in your life, if you choose to believe in yourself and in your potential, your inner environment becomes fertile ground for growth and success. It's important to cultivate an environment that aligns with the person you want to become. If you want to be successful, surround yourself with people who have already achieved success. If you want to be happy, find people who radiate joy and positivity. If you want to be healthy, seek out environments that promote wellness. Your environment will influence your mindset, your habits, and your actions. Choose environments that reflect the person you're striving to become. Another critical aspect of creating a positive environment is being mindful of what you consume, what you read, what you watch, what you listen to. All of these things have an impact on your thoughts and feelings. If you spend your time consuming negative news, toxic social media, or content that drains your energy, you are feeding negativity into your mind. Instead, seek out content that educates, inspires, and empowers you. Fill your mind with ideas that challenge you to think bigger, to take action, to grow, and to evolve. Be intentional about the information you allow into your life because it will shape the way you think and feel. Of course, there will always be challenges and setbacks along the way. No one is immune to difficulties, and no one can avoid moments of negativity. But the key is not to let negativity control you. You are stronger than the negative forces around you. You are more powerful than the negativity within you. And when you start to recognize it, when you start to take control of your environment and your thoughts, you can transform your life. You can create the conditions that will allow you to thrive, to succeed, and to become the person you're meant to be. Change doesn't happen overnight, and it requires constant effort. It requires a commitment to yourself, to your growth, and to your dreams. But when you commit to creating a positive environment inside and outside, you are giving yourself the best possible chance to succeed. You are surrounding yourself with the right people, the right energy, and the right mindset to help you overcome any obstacle and achieve any goal. And in doing so, you will not only transform your own life, but you will inspire others to do the same. The ripple effect of positivity is powerful. When you elevate your environment, you elevate those around you, creating a culture of growth, support, and possibility. Self-pity and accountability are two concepts that are often misunderstood, yet they are critical to personal growth, success, and overall well-being. Self-pity is a natural human response when we feel overwhelmed by life's challenges, disappointments, or injustices. It's easy to fall into the trap of feeling sorry for ourselves when things aren't going our way, when we face adversity, or when we experience setbacks. In those moments, self-pity feels like a comforting companion. It gives us an excuse to wallow in our pain, to indulge in negative emotions, and to justify why we can't move forward. But while self-pity might feel good in the short term, it's ultimately a prison. It keeps us stuck in a cycle of helplessness, where we believe that our circumstances are beyond our control, and it robs us of the power to change. Accountability, on the other hand, is about taking responsibility for our actions, decisions, and the outcomes of our lives. It's about recognizing that we have the power to shape our own destinies and that ultimately we are the ones who determine how our lives unfold. Accountability requires us to look at ourselves honestly, to confront the uncomfortable truths about our choices, and to take ownership of the consequences, both good and bad. Unlike self-pity, which seeks to deflect responsibility, accountability empowers us to change, to grow, and to take control of our lives. When we embrace accountability, we stop playing the victim and start playing the role of the hero in our own story. The relationship between self-pity and accountability is one of contrast, but it's also one of synergy. In order to grow, we must first recognize when we are falling into the trap of self-pity, and we must learn to break free from it. But simply recognizing self-pity isn't enough. We need to replace it with accountability, because without accountability, we are left helpless in the face of adversity. We are left with the belief that things happen to us rather than for us, that the world is against us rather than understanding that we are responsible for how we respond to the world. Accountability requires that we step into our own power and stop waiting for external circumstances to change before we take action. Self-pity is a form of escape. It is a way of avoiding responsibility. When we feel victimized, we give ourselves permission to not do anything about it. We tell ourselves that it's not our fault, that we're justified in our inaction because the circumstances are just too overwhelming. Self-pity becomes an excuse. We start to feel as if we are helpless, that there is no way out, and that our situation is hopeless. This is the mindset that traps us. It's a mindset that convinces us we don't have control, that we don't have choices, and that we are at the mercy of forces outside of ourselves. However, the truth is that no matter how bad our circumstances are, we always have a choice. We may not always have control over the events that happen to us, but we have control over how we respond. Accountability asks us to recognize this truth. It challenges us to ask ourselves hard questions like, what role did I play in creating the situation? What can I do to change my circumstances? How can I take responsibility for my part in this? And what steps can I take to move forward? These are questions of empowerment, not victimhood. They shift the focus from helplessness to action, from blame to responsibility. When we take accountability for our lives, we are no longer at the mercy of our circumstances. We take control of our response to those circumstances, and that's where our power lies. One of the reasons self-pity is so seductive is because it offers us relief, even if only temporarily. When we feel bad about ourselves or our situation, it feels good to vent, to let out our frustrations, and to dwell in our sadness. Self-pity feels like an emotional release that allows us to express our feelings and feel validated in our pain. It creates a narrative in which we are the innocent victims, and this narrative can be comforting because it absolves us of the need to act. We don't have to face the hard truth. We don't have to take responsibility for the choices that led us to this point. Self-pity allows us to remain in a state of inertia, where nothing changes because nothing is required of us. But the problem with self-pity is that it doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't offer a solution. keeps us stuck in the past, focused on what's wrong rather than what we can do to improve our situation. It perpetuates a cycle of helplessness and despair. We continue to feel bad for ourselves, but nothing ever changes because we never take the necessary steps to change. And so we remain stagnant, waiting for something or someone else to change our circumstances. Accountability, however, is the antidote to self-pity. It demands that we look at our lives and take ownership of our choices. It asks us to stop blaming others and to stop waiting for external factors to change. Accountability requires us to look at where we are, where we want to go, and what we need to do in order to get there. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable truths about our behavior, our habits, and our mindset. Accountability doesn't allow us to hide behind excuses. It doesn't allow us to wallow in self-pity. It pushes us to take action, to make the necessary changes, and to move forward. When we take accountability for our lives, we stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance. We stop seeing life as something that happens to us, and we begin to see it as something that we have a say in. We begin to understand that we are the creators of our own reality. We stop looking for excuses to explain why things aren't working out, and we start looking for solutions. We stop waiting for permission to succeed, and we start taking the steps necessary to achieve our goals. Accountability allows us to shift from a mindset of powerlessness to one of empowerment. Another important aspect of accountability is that it holds us accountable to our own values and goals. When we embrace accountability, we are not just taking responsibility for our actions, but we are also committing ourselves to the vision we have for our lives. We stop making excuses for why we can't achieve our goals, and we start taking the steps necessary to bring those goals to fruition. Accountability forces us to be honest with ourselves about what we want and whether we are willing to do what it takes to get there. It asks us to commit to the process, even when it's hard, even when it takes longer than we expect, even when it feels uncomfortable. Self-pity, on the other hand, allows us to stay small. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of emotional comfort, where we avoid discomfort and challenge because it's easier to stay stuck. It prevents us from taking risks, from stepping out of our comfort zone, and from embracing the discomfort of growth. Accountability, however, requires us to step into discomfort. It requires us to face challenges head on, to acknowledge our shortcomings, and to take the necessary actions to improve. Accountability means holding ourselves to a higher standard, even when it's difficult, even when we want to take the easy way out. At its core, accountability is about integrity. It's about being true to ourselves and to our commitments. It's about being honest about what we are doing, what we are not doing, and what we need to change. Self-pity, on the other hand, is about avoiding the truth. It's about pretending that we don't have any control, that we are powerless in the face of life's challenges. It's a lie that keeps us stuck and prevents us from living the life we are capable of living. The shift from self-pity to accountability is not an easy one, and it requires a significant amount of self-awareness and discipline. It requires that we confront our own weaknesses, our own fears, and our own limiting beliefs. But when we make that shift, we move from a place of powerlessness to a place of strength. We move from being victims of circumstance to being architects of our own future. We take back control of our lives and our destinies. And that is the path to real success, happiness, and fulfillment. It's the path to becoming the best version of ourselves.